station Central Florida turns to first for live team coverage of breaking news. News Talk AM 580 WDBO, Orlando, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
From ABC News, I'm Aaron Katursky. 10 days before the midterm elections, President Obama rallies Democrats in Minnesota.
2008, you said, yes, we can. In 2010, you've got to say, yes, we can.
Meantime, Sarah Palin campaigned for Republicans in Florida, where she complained about government spending.
Please, God, don't let anyone tell Obama what number comes after $1 trillion, or we'll be heading that direction.
California may be battling major financial issues these days, but the main candidates for governor of that state have made the race the most expensive general election contest in California history. Republican Meg Whitman and Democrat Jerry Brown have spent more than $188 million so far. WikiLeaks is preparing to post online more classified documents, this time on the Afghan war. The Pentagon is still angry about the release of 400,000 formerly secret military logs from Iraq that indicate prisoners were abused by the Iraqi forces without any follow-up by American troops. There are fears a cholera outbreak in central Haiti that's already blamed for more than 200 deaths will spread to Port-au-Prince. 1 million earthquake survivors are living there in tent camps vulnerable to disease. A lot of baseball fans in Philadelphia would certainly like to watch Game 6 of the National League Championship Series tonight in the comfort of their own home, but ABC's Daria Albinger tells us they may be out of luck.
Millions of cable TV viewers in the Philadelphia area rely on Cablevision for their TV service, and for more than a week, that service hasn't included Fox. That's because the companies are at an impasse over must-carry fees. Now federal regulators are stepping in. They want information on both sides about the fees Cablevision pays Fox.
By the way, Game 6 starts in about 3 hours. The Giants lead the series 3-2. 7 soccer fans died in a stampede in Kenya today. The gates may not have opened in time for a match between two of the country's most popular teams. And a rare political demonstration in Moscow calling for the ouster of Vladimir Putin. You're listening to ABC News.
Now, a WDBO news update from Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Orlando temperature is 84 degrees. I'm Nancy Alvarez with our top local stories this hour. Orange County detectives say they have arrested the man who attacked a woman last week. Early this morning, deputies arrested 23-year-old Daniel Cabrera. According to the victim, she was walking along Goldenrod Road near Quail Pond Street last Wednesday morning when a man grabbed her, dragged her into the woods, and tried to rape her. The woman fought back and escaped. She was able to help investigators come up with a composite sketch of the suspect, and early this morning, Cabrera was arrested after a tipster led deputies to him at work. Investigators do not believe he is responsible for the string of rapes in East Orange County. Crews searching the St. Johns River found the body of a missing boater this afternoon. Seminole and Volusia County rescue units responded to the lake overnight after 2 boats collided. The crash happened near the Sanford boat ramp. U.S. Senate Republican nominee Marco Rubio is campaigning in the Orlando area today. He held a Reclaim America rally in Kissimmee this morning, and this afternoon he's attending the Republican National Committee's 2010 Victory Rally at the Orlando World Marriott. The rally will feature former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin. You can expect delays if you're headed to downtown Orlando or into Volusia County tonight. An eastbound lane on I-4 near the Wymore Bridge will be closed starting at 8 o'clock tonight, and a second lane will close at 10 for construction. These lanes will still be closed tomorrow, but they will reopen in time for rush hour Monday morning. 2,000 people and their pets came together today for costume contests and fun, all to raise more than $80,000 for the SPCA. The 10th annual Wiggle Waggle Walk was held today at Crane's Roost Park in Altamont Springs. The money raised will support the thousands of cats and dogs the SPCA takes in every year. For more on these stories and the important local news of the day, watch Channel 9 Eyewitness News tonight at 11. WDBO News Time is 4 past the hour. Traffic and weather are next.
When severe weather gets bad, break in with severe weather coverage to keep you safe, secure, and informed. Severe weather updates are heard on News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Depend on it.
Right now at Courtesy Honda, it's our 000 event. Any questions?
Yeah, what are the 000s?
Zero down payment, 0% financing, or zero payments for 90 days.
Wow, that is a great deal.
You got it. Plus, right now, get a new 2010 Civic LX for $179 a month. Or pay just $1 more a day for a new 2010 Accord LX, just $209 a month. Both with 4 doors and automatic. And both with zero down payment, zero security deposit, and zero first payment. Just 36-month leases plus tax, tag, and title with approved credit. Don't miss the 000 event for a limited time only at Courtesy Honda on Reinhardt Road, just south of the Seminole Town Center Mall. Civics, $179 a month. Accords, $209 a month. Both zero down payment. We're Courtesy. We're AutoNation. We're changing everything.
Who are you going to call? Call Courtesy!
Any questions? CourtesyHonda.com. And now, all Courtesy locations are open for service on Sundays from 9 to 4.
Good afternoon, it's 5:05 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO, and it's time to check in with the 24-hour WDBO Safe Touch Security Traffic Network. Here's Doug Stewart.
There's still congestion I-4 westbound from Conroy to the Turnpike. It's smooth sailing on I-4 eastbound. No problems on State Road 408 or any of the toll roads. Report of a disabled vehicle in the roadway northbound Jungyong Parkway at Oak Ridge. The right turn lane reportedly blocked. Orlando Police on the scene of an accident. It's going to be at Metro West Boulevard in Kirkman, and fire rescue en route to a motorcycle crash on Fort Christmas Road north of Lake Pickett Road. This traffic report brought to you by the MD Anderson Cancer Center Orlando. Support Pink October and Breast Cancer Awareness Month by enlisting in the fight against breast cancer. Learn more at mdacco.com/enlist. On the station with traffic every 6 minutes in the morning, I'm Doug Stewart.
Staying warm, we'll have a few clouds around for this evening, then mostly clear overnight. Low temperature down to 65. Mostly sunny on Sunday, even warmer with a high climbing to 88. Eye on the tropics. Richard's still maintaining tropical storm status as it moves right along the Honduras coastline. It could become a hurricane by Sunday, but staying well to our south. From Severe Weather Center 9 and WDBO meteorologist Stephanie Dion.
And the latest scan of the WDBO weather radar shows no rain across Central Florida. It is 80 at the UCF campus and 81 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station depend on it.
The following hour was paid for by the host and does not reflect the opinion of AM 580 WDBO. The Pool Fanatics are on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
Brought to you each week by your host, Tony Caruso, and his company, TC Water Features.
If you have questions about pool maintenance or have been thinking about adding a pool, spa area, or waterfall, you need to call now at 407-290-0058 or 800-329-5858. Now, the Pool Fanatics.
And welcome to the Pool Fanatics right here on News Talk AM 580 WDBO. I'm not Rob Newton, the usual host. I'm Nick. I'm the guy Rob always makes fun of on the air. But he'll be back next week to take charge and do his thing. And I'm here with Tony Caruso, the owner of Orlando Luxury Pools by TC Water Features. And Tony, amazing things can happen in your backyard, and you are the man to talk to about making those amazing things happen.
Awesome, man. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm not doing too bad. I'm doing well.
Hey, I was on the way here. I had, of course, I listen to my AM 580 on the way to the radio show, and just checking you out, man. You're filling in quite well. I think Rob's going to be a little jealous when he gets back, that you keep things moving quite well. I like how you intermix with Larry. Larry he does a great job on his show. I always listen to him every time I come here, and I get a lot of good pointers out of that.
Yeah,
especially the transmission issues, 50,000 miles. Mine's done by the book. I got that Lincoln Mark LT. I do it by the book. That truck will last me, I hope, 250,000 miles. It looks good.
Yeah, I was going to say, that thing's got 50,000 miles on it?
Well, it's got 104,000 miles on it, and it looks new.
I was going to say, I thought it was a brand new car.
No, man.
Truck.
Well, it's a truck. I take care of it, man. I mean, I take care of all my vehicles. I have a small little fleet of vehicles, and we do them by the book. If we do them by the book, they'll last. That's why part of my proud partners, we have proud partners in my business that are transmission people as well. So, we have a great group of partners that we do business with. I want to put a little well-wishing out there for some family members. My sister-in-law, Susan, she's recovering from her second bout of cancer. And, of course, my Aunt Marilyn's had her third hip. You believe that, Nick? Third hip put in.
Wow.
MRSA.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then my buddy Rick Jones is recovering from leukemia. He's having a party today, celebration of life. About 2 weeks ago, he couldn't sit up. Now today he can sit up. Now they're having a celebration of life today. So my 35-year-old friend, he's not 35. I've known him for over 35 years. So wish you all well and thinking about you.
that's a neat idea, a celebration of life party, pretty much. I mean,
everybody celebrates when you pass. How about celebrate your life? So hope everybody's having a good time over there. The ribs are wonderful. Sure miss being there, but you know what? I'm here to educate again. I'm here to educate people about swimming pools today. So look forward to all your calls and questions, and we're going to have a good time today.
Yeah, and if you've got any questions, the phone number's here, 407-290-0058 or 1-800-329-5858. And Tony can take questions on anything pool related.
Yeah, I'm ready. And I noticed one thing. Rob left his water wings for you. I see you got them. I see you got them properly inflated.
Yeah.
Just pull the snorkel back, and we'll have a conversation here.
Hey, come on now. You ain't got to make fun of me just because Rob's not here.
No, man. That's it's all in fun,
Yeah. So, one of the things we're going to talk about today is heating your pool, because that time of the year is coming. It got cool for a couple of weeks, and now it's a little warm again. It's still really nice out, though. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll take this over 110 degrees outside any day of the week.
Yeah.
But, it's that time of year for heating your pool.
Yeah, we did a couple of heat pumps this week, and, I pulled out my automation control panel and went through it. My pool's 76 degrees today. It's unscreened, and I get, probably 8 hours of good sun, and I'm at 76 degrees unscreened. So you people that have screen pools, you're probably in the 60s right now. I just put a heat pump on a pool now. Obviously, I did it on Monday. I put in the Hayward H Series, the Heat Pro. It was 68 degrees.
Wow.
Today, it's 82 degrees. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so they're back to enjoying their pool again,
that's a pretty big gap there.
But hey, you know what? I'll tell you, it's 72 degrees at spring water for most part. 68 degrees is a little chippy. The kids have no fear, by the way. The kids don't have any issues swimming in a colder pool.
Oh, yeah.
The blue lips and the shiver and all that, that's all good to go, but there's no way I'm getting in a pool that cold.
Yeah, I remember being a kid, 10, 12 years ago, and it'd be 40 degrees outside at night, and we're jumping in the pool, and it was fun then. Nowadays, no.
Well, let's talk about, this is a wonderful, wonderful feeling. If you're sitting in a spa last year, I was sitting in a spa, it's probably somewhere around 40 degrees outside, and I'm sitting in my spa for about 20 minutes, which is about all you want to be in there. That's what the state law allows you, to 104 degrees. Is jumping out of that spa at 40 degrees air temperature. Pool is probably 60, I guess. Steam's popping off your body, jump in the pool, and I'm going to tell you what an eye-opener, man. That'll sure open you up. But you know what? It cools you back off, but and then it's time to get back in the spa again.
Yeah, it is a weird feeling getting out, and you're hot, and you're from the water, and you get out, and then as the water starts to dry and cool off from the outside air, you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
time to do something here.
Yeah, having a pool that you can't use for the most part of the year. Now, you can successfully get 10 to 11 months swim season out of a pool. If you pre-plan for it, you can do that. Most people that have heat today, cover them up for 3 or 4 months and leave them. That's like putting your boat in a garage for 2 or 3 months and don't use it because it's too cold out, But you can use your pool. If you really want to use your pool, there's ways we can do that. There's ways we can efficiently do that.
Yeah, because what in your expert opinion is the most efficient way? How do you heat your pool? We'll put it that way, because you're only going to have the best for yourself. So
Mother Nature, believe it or not. The spa does all I needed to do. My pool's heated by Mother Nature. I do have a pretty good sized pool, but those who have a pool, that's a misconception. A lot of people will sell you a single heat pump. That is the efficient way of doing it, besides solar. Once you put solar on, your expense is paid for.
Right.
But it's the initial expense to put it on the roof. Now, solar will do an average between 12 to 16, maybe 12 to 18 degrees above the ambient temperature. So if your pool is around 60 degrees ambient in the wintertime, that means you'd be somewhere in the 74 to 78, maybe 80 degree range in the winter. And that should be adequate for most part. But this past year was not a good year where we had water temperatures in the upper 40s to low 50s. Now, I just read in the paper that we're going to have an above normal warm winter and a very above normal dry winter this year. So probably not going to be as cold as it was last year. Obviously, if it's above normal, La Nina has taken hold. The north is supposed to be wetter and colder. We're supposed to be drier and warmer.
Right.
So we can extend that swim time. So the most efficient way, obviously, is Mother Nature. If you can't let Mother Nature do all she can do, is you go into solar. If you have the ability, for instance, my pool's 65 feet from the house. The only way I can put solar on my pool is to build a rack system on the ground.
Right.
Now, I can't run, my solar on my roof. Probably to and from would be about 200 feet of pipe that I'd have to put in the ground and insulate it. Now, the ground's an insulator. Once again, about 3 feet, the ground temperature is pretty much a constant. but I'd want to insulate that. I'd probably put some vermiculite around it and insulate the lines to hold the heat on there. But my pool is really not efficiently designed for solar because of the length of run to and from the pool, but it would work. The next way of doing it is obviously a heat pump. Now, a heat pump will give you the desired temperature you're looking for. For instance, if you're looking to heat your pool 80, 90 to 100 degrees in the winter with a heat pump, it can do it as long as you prepare in advance for the heat pump to do its job. For instance, if I had a gas heater, a 400,000 BTU heater, which is about 332,000 actual BTUs at 80 degrees air temperature, 80 degrees water temperature, 80% relative humidity when we're not heating our pool, by the way. And that's what the standards are written on for the most part. Now they're getting a little better where you might be 60, 53, and 60 where the numbers change a little bit. But gas will heat your pool the fastest, but it's not efficient. Okay, so that's why we use gas heaters on spas, because we want to heat a spa in 15, 18, 19 minutes, 20 minutes max, or I'm out of the mood. If I'm waiting 30 minutes to wait for my spa to heat up, I'm pretty much out of the mood at the time, unless you have an automation system where you can kind of pre-plan and preset that up. But gas is the way to go on a spa, but on a pool, it's not efficient. It could be as much as 6 times more expensive to heat your pool with gas as it would be a heat pump. Now, heat pumps today, they've changed the refrigerant. I think we're on R410 now, which is a new refrigerant that we're using, which is very much more eco-friendly. Heat pump is, again, about 6 times more efficient, but it also takes about 3 times longer to heat. For instance, that 400,000 BTU heater is really about 332,000 actual BTUs versus a 116,000 BTU heat pump is about 102,000 actual BTUs. So it's about a little over 3 times smaller, which means it takes 3 times longer.
Right.
So if I heated your pool in 8 hours, it might take 24 hours with a heat pump. Now, if you heat your pool, you must protect your investment. How am I going to do that? I'm either going to use the blue cover. No one wants to use that because it's cumbersome. Or I can use a liquid solar blanket, which is a liquid that you put in the pool. Actually comes either a pill form or a fish-looking form or the automatic pool cover. So the automatic pool cover is much more spendier than the blue bubble cover, but you can walk on them. And they work wonderfully well. Now, if you don't cover your pool or protect your heating investment, you could lose as much as 8 to 10 degrees at night. So if my pool heated up to 80 degrees during the day, in the middle of the day, it's going to knock about 8 degrees off. So what am I doing? It's like putting your foot on the gas pedal and just holding it all the way through the day. I don't care what kind of economy I'm getting. I'm just blowing the fuel out so I can fill it back up again. In this case, you want to protect that investment because heat rises. Also, it evaporates, so you can lose water in your pool when you heat pool if you don't protect that heat investment. So I highly recommend, and one of the new energy codes that I sit on a panel for is they've now accepted other approved means. Now, if you heat your pool currently today by fossil fuel, that could be electric or with gas, you must cover your pool. Well, you only have one option. Now you have 2 options. Before, your only option was the blue cover.
Right.
Now you have another option. Now the other approved means is going to go into effect, I believe, at the end of this year. So that's another way you can you can protect your investment. But no one wants to use the blue cover because it's a dust collector. Everything falls on it. And my industry is definitely afraid that if something fell in the pool, something, we won't say somebody, let's just say something, it disappears. You don't see it.
Yeah.
So with the electric cover, it actually covers the pool. You can walk on it. You know, they actually advertise you can walk an elephant on them. Hey, can you imagine that, walking about 3 tons on a cover?
Jeez.
I'm thinking the kids might have too much fun thinking it's a trampoline. So,
yeah.
You know, but that's your 4 ways. You have Mother Nature Solar from my good friends over at Superior Solar. You also have heat pump, which is done through TC Water Features, and or gas heat, which is done through TC Water Features. We've done a couple heat pumps this week. We got a couple gas heaters coming up beginning of next week again for spas.
And the 8 degrees that it could lose overnight. Does it matter if it's covered or not with a screen?
No, the screen doesn't make a difference covering the pool because heat rises. You know, so if you don't protect your investment, your heat gain. Now with a cover, you're only going to lose about 2 degrees. I'd rather lose 2 degrees than 8 degrees.
Yeah, well, plus you spend money all day heating the pool up, so you're tossing money out too.
I got a pool that I did about 8 years ago. The customer requested 90 degrees, 365 days a year. It was about 52,000 gallons. Now, the correct way to size a heat pump for a pool is you take the volume of the water. We'll do quick math here. I got no calculator. So let's say it's 15,000 gallons of water. A pound of water weighs 8.3 pounds per gallon. So we're going to call that, 120,000 pounds of water. So I convert that over. I need about 120,000 BTUs. So that's typically a heat pump. So you have to look at how many heat pumps it's going to take to heat a pool. Now, it takes 1 BTU to raise 1 pound of water 1 degree. I believe I got that exactly correct, because that's pretty much what it is. You're taking British thermal units, you're trying to raise the temperature up, and that's what it takes. So you have the volume, the weight of the water is equal. So it's 1 BTU for 1 pound of water. So that's basically how that boils down to. So doing it that way, it'd be a single heat pump pool. Now, I've just bid on one. It was 56,000 gallons. It was three and a half heat pumps. So, they don't make a half heat pump. So you either run them longer or you put an extra heat pump on there, because they don't really make an in-between heat pump. So you need to size it to get your money. People constantly call me and tell me, hey, my pool's not heating. Well, let's see here. There's an efficient way to heat a pool, and there's an inefficient way of heating a pool. But not covering your pool is definitely not a good way of doing it, unless you want to pay the power bill, the power company money. Then if you're paying the power company you're paying the power company money to run that heat pump, then you don't care about your investment. I don't think there's too many consumers out there that don't want to protect their investment. So cover your pool, save the energy, and stop paying the power company because you want to heat your pool and you don't want to protect it.
And I know one an inefficient way is to heat the spa and leave the overflow on all night long. Been there, done that.
Let's see, been there, done that.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a detached spa, now you're required, if you heat that 24 hours a day, you're required to cover it.
Yeah, well, I wasn't supposed to leave the heater on all day.
Yeah, well, if you're using a gas heater, I can imagine either you or your parents or whoever's it was didn't appreciate the fuel bill.
That would be my parents. So, well, hey, if you've got any questions for Tony, the number here is 407-290-0058 or 1-800-329-5858. We'll be back in just a few minutes for websites, phone numbers, and more heating. And I want to ask him about some water features, so we're going to talk about that as well. You're listening to News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
I'm mad at Washington. I'm mad at the Democrats and Republicans in Washington.
You're weak.
Elections are always a little bit funny.
My greatest fear is that Obama will be reelected.
Oh, no.
Your news.
In Mexico.
And they won't tell you where the money for their ads come from.
Every day.
And I think that we showed the best of Chile. The unity.
As events happen.
It was in the heart.
The only reason this is a tough race is that this is a tough time.
We'll happen to be there.
Man up, Harry Reid.
News Talk AM 580. WDBO.
Ever feel like you're the only one who is sad in a world of happy people? Everyone feels stress, sadness, and anxiety from time to time. It's part of life. But when changes in mood interfere with your ability to work, sleep, eat, and enjoy once pleasurable activities, it could be a sign of depression. In recognition of National Depression Screening Day, CNS Healthcare is now offering free confidential depression assessments. Call 407-425-5100 to learn more.
It's the stack of money with the googly eyes that wants to save you money. Today's Geico cash saving tip is clean your air filter. A clean air filter will improve your gas mileage up to 7%, saving you $100 every 10,000 miles. This cash saving tip is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO.
Business banking just got easier with cash management banking from Centennial Bank. Use your office PC to make a deposit, transfer funds, generate payroll, plus bank after regular banking hours or on weekends, and you may even get faster access to your funds. Find out more at one of Centennial Bank's 6 Central Florida locations. Call 888-372-9788 or visit my100bank.com. Business banking that really is better from one of the strongest community banks in America, Centennial Bank. Member FDIC.
A comfortable home should be your first priority, and you can get it with a Lennox heating and cooling system from Action Air of Florida. Just call 407-521-0400. For a limited time, you can receive up to a $1,000 rebate when you purchase a qualifying Lennox heating and cooling system. Call Action Air of Florida at 407-521-0400 today. Visit us at orlandoac.com. License number CAC 053219. See your participating Lennox dealer for details. Lennox dealers include independently owned and operated businesses. Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Do you know prostate cancer affects 1 in 6 men, and early stages of prostate cancer generally show no symptoms? Or maybe something has you concerned, like a weak or interrupted urinary stream, inability or frequent urination, or pain or burning. Whether you're experiencing symptoms or not, if you are or someone you love is a man over 40, then it's time for your free screening courtesy of Dr. Lotenfo and his staff at Urology Health Solutions. Just visit freescreeningnow.com. That's freescreeningnow.com to register. It's a quick and easy process that will put your mind at ease. days. Recognized as a pioneer in urology, Dr. Lodenfo embraces minimally invasive technology to improve results and minimize pain and discomfort. Don't risk everything. Prevention is key. So visit freescreeningnow.com to register. Office is located conveniently off I-4 at the Celebration Health Plaza. Register for your prostate screening today at freescreeningnow.com or call 407-566-1105. That's 407-566-1105. Passion for patients and undeniable results.
It might be late into hurricane season, but like a hawk, WDBO continues watching for that one freak system. Like Tropical Storm Richard, our staff of meteorologists at Severe Weather Center 9 are working 24/7 to provide the most current, accurate, and dependable information so you stay informed.
Tropical Storm Richard in the Caribbean could get stronger in the next few days.
No matter what time of year, severe weather is what we do.
Eventually move into the Gulf of Mexico by next week.
News Talk AM 580 WDBO has severe weather covered. Depend on it.
For local news as it happens, stay tuned to AM 580 WDBO, your news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
And welcome back to the Pool Fanatics. We're about 5 minutes away from the latest news, weather, and traffic. And I got to tell you, y'all should go to the facebook.com and search for WDBO, because we were just talking during the break, and we've got some pretty exciting things to talk about coming up at 5:35 and beyond. So you definitely want to stay tuned in for that. And if you go to WDBO, the Facebook, you can find out what we're going to talk about and comment on there, and we can talk about the comments on the air if you're afraid to call. And if you do want to call, 407-290-0058 or 1-800-329-5858. And Larry Perry, the Magic Mechanic, found out I was going to be hosting today, so he gave me a question because he's got some dead plants around his pool on the inside of his screen porch, or his screened enclosure. He has some dead plants from over the past year. We had that really cold winter that killed everything pretty much, and he wants to know what can he put near his pool that will not pollute the water with leaves and pollen and all sorts of other nonsense. So he wants to know what he can put there that is going to be kind of big and bushy, and he wants to know your advice.
First off, I'm honored that Larry, Mr. Magic Mechanic.
The Magic Mechanic.
Yes, sir. Asked me a question about a swimming pool. I'm pretty honored with that, to be honest with you. And thank you, Larry, for the question. There's actually a lot of good stuff that you can use around your pool. I'm not sure if he's trying to, did he ask you about it? Does he want a tropical look? And this is really a Vince Sims kind of question, but I can answer it too because I see it all the time. And one of the things that we don't want to put around a pool, and I actually led into a pool that took about a year to resolve why I had nitrates and phosphates in the pool. Now, we don't want to introduce any type of fertilizer. That's probably why Larry's asking the question. A lot of color. Let's see here. I like a lot of evergreen material. I have hollies around mine. A lot of people don't like hollies, but I shape my stuff. My wife kind of calls me Edward Scissorhands in a roundabout way because I sculpt everything. I think I got about 1,500 plants in my yard I sculpt, and I spend 5.5 hours a day sculpting those. So I like a little color. I like crotons. I like hollies. I don't mind shrubs of any type. A lot of different kind of shrubs. Hibiscus are okay, even though they flower. They're not going to make a big mess in the pool. What you don't want to put on there are annuals. Annuals are going to come and go. They're going to drop off flowers. I love impatiens, by the way, but I stay away from around the pool area because they do shed. I grow hydrangeas. If he's got a little bit of a shade area, hydrangeas look wonderful around a pool, especially if it's screened. Let's see, if he's tropical, robolinis are nice, but I don't like the thorns on them. Palm trees I really, really stay away from in a screen enclosure because, one, they seed. That's really a big mess. Two, they'll grow through the roof. People don't realize if you put some big stuff in there, just grow right through the roof. So you must moderate in keeping it trimmed back. I have boxwoods around my pool. I have hollies around my pool. I am fixing to remove my bougainvillea. It's pretty good ways away from my pool, but you know what? It's just too close. So I try to watch whatever I put around my pool that I spend the least amount of time maintaining on. I like to have topiaries. I have some shaped topiaries in my yard around my pool area too that I shape and kind of sculpt. It's something I can get away with about once or twice, maybe 3 times in a summer. But I also look at no fertilizer. Remember, we don't want to put fertilizers on these bushes and plants that are going to fall over. Now, let's see here. Asparagus fern works pretty good too. It's kind of it's not gonna say it gets messy, but it's a nice greenery. It grows slow. It doesn't really shed a lot in the pool unless it freezes, and that's where Larry's coming from. All the stuff that's been around his pool, frozen, fell in the pool.
Yep.
I got devastated too, but I try to really keep a lot of hardy stuff on. So I do a little bit of research and find a hardy looking product. What else do I have? I have some zinnias around my pool. Not zinnias, exorias is what they are. I also have, believe it or not, flowering daisies. Believe it or not, it's a daisy bush. It's not like daisies like the little flowers. It's a bush. You know, it doesn't shed. These things I trim out about 2 or 3 times a year, and they look wonderful. So if you're looking for yellows, I like the daisy bush. I like the red and the yellow exorias. Those look pretty.
Well, we can TC Water Features and Gardening here.
Well,
you sure do have your stuff.
Well, I mean, again, I have about 1,500 plants around my property, and I take time to keep them up. Like I have my loropetalum. I have a ruby. I guess I'm saying loropetalum ruby.
Mm-hmm.
I shape those. Everything's. I have serpentine squares up and down. So the loropetalum is kind of like a burgundy color. Puts off a nice little pink flower, but it doesn't shed into the pool. So that's really slow growing. Again, it's only slow growing if you don't overload it with fertilizer. But keep the fertilizer away from the water. It's very important.
Because if it gets in, it's going to change all the levels and just...
Then we got nitrates, and then we're going to call somebody to figure out what your problem is.
Yep. All right, well, if you've got any questions for Tony, 407-290-0058 or 1-800-329-5858. Back in a minute.
The station Central Florida turns to first for live team coverage of breaking news. News Talk AM 580 WDBO Orlando. Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
10 days before the election, President Obama this past hour at the University of Minnesota stumping for a Democratic gubernatorial candidate.
Mark Dayton has spent his life fighting for Minnesota.
Sarah Palin was the star attraction a few hours ago at a fundraiser in Orlando for Republican Senate candidate Marco Rubio.
2010 is just the beginning, folks. Michael and these folks are going to lead us to victory 2012.
When Rubio himself spoke, he said Washington is broken and both parties are to blame. After releasing 400,000 Pentagon documents on the Iraq War, including details about torture by Iraqi forces with the U.S. military looking the other way, WikiLeaks now preparing to post more online papers on the Afghan war this time around. Deaths from the cholera outbreak in Haiti now top 200, more than 2,300 cases. Right now, Coast Guard crews are checking some brown or dark red water near the Mississippi River south of New Orleans to see if it's oil spill or algae. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
The mouth of the South is a mouth of conservatism.
You are being manipulated by Democrats and Barack Obama.
Neil Bortz. Weekdays 9 till 1 on News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Every day, the financial landscape changes.
You know, there is a clear trend today that we as Americans have lost confidence in our banks, in corporate America, in our Congress. We feel betrayed.
And every day, Clark Howard is there to help you navigate through it.
And as somebody who is a free marketeer and as somebody who's been an entrepreneur for most of my adult life, even with all these enterprises behaving badly, it is still my belief that overwhelmingly most business people do business in an ethical way. Most are just trying to provide a product or service that you want to buy. And there are certain segments of the economy where, for whatever reason, a lot of people in those segments lost their way. It is just unfortunate that we're in a position that we're giving money to companies that long ago lost any moral standing, not just with me, but with the American people.
Weekdays 1 to 3, only on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
Good afternoon, it's 5:32 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO, and it's time to check in with a 24-hour WDBO Safe Touch Security Traffic Network. Here's Doug Stewart.
I-4 is finally back up to speed in both directions into and out of the city of Orlando. State Road 408, there's an accident on the right shoulder heading westbound at I-4. It's not causing any problem. Earlier it blocked the 2 right lanes, but it's cleared out of the roadway. FHP on the scene of an accident. It's going to be on Fort Crispus Road, just north of Lake Pickett Road. That involves a motorcycle. This traffic report brought to you by the M.D. Anderson Cancer Center Orlando. Support Pink October and Breast Cancer Awareness Month by enlisting in the fight against breast cancer. Learn more at mdacco.com/enlist. On the station with traffic every 6 minutes in the morning, I'm Doug Stewart.
Staying warm, we'll have a few clouds around for this evening, then mostly clear overnight. Low temperature down to 65. Mostly sunny on Sunday, even warmer with a high climbing to 88. Eye on the tropics. Richard's still maintaining tropical storm status as it moves right along the Honduras coastline. It could become a hurricane by Sunday, but staying well to our south. From Severe Weather Center 9 and WDBO, meteorologist Stephanie Dion.
And the latest scan of the WDBO weather radar shows no rain across Central Florida. It is 80 in Sanford and 82 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station depend on it.
When it matters most, remember News Talk AM 580 WDBO, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
And welcome back to the Pool Fanatics right here on News Talk AM 580 WDBO. And we want to get websites and phone numbers because amazing things can happen in your backyard. And Tony Caruso is the man to make those things happen. So, Tony, we need your websites. We need your phone numbers. How do people get a hold of you?
OrlandoLuxuryPools.com. You can go to the sales portion and pick us up and send us an email. That's OrlandoLuxuryPools.com. Phone number is 407-282-4911. That's 407-282-4911. Amazing things can happen in your backyard.
Yes, they can. And we've got 2 Facebook questions today. So we're going to start. We talked a little bit about it earlier. What is the most efficient way? How can you efficiently heat your pool is the first one.
Well, we talked about the 4 ways of heating your pool, but a lot of pools that I renovate, I'm truly, truly amazed that they do not put a bypass valve in the heater or heat pump, gas or fast, which is the efficient way of doing it. And I get answers everything from fast is good to medium's okay, and I'm not sure about slow. Well, there is an efficient way of heating a pool, whether it's through a heat pump or through a gas heater, and that you must put a bypass valve in there. These heaters and heat pumps are generally rated for about 80 to 90 gallons a minute. Okay, and if you have a pump that's capable of doing 80 or 90 gallons a minute, and the faster you run the water through the heat exchanger, whether it's going through a burner, tray, gas, or heat exchanger, compressor, heat pump, there's an efficient way. There is an efficient volume of water that makes that happen. Now, most heaters and heat pumps require a minimum of 35 gallons a minute to close the pressure switch, which opens either the gas valve or starts the compressor on the heat pump to start heating. So is it 35 gallons a minute? The answer is no. Is it 85 or 90 gallons a minute? The answer is no. It's just not going to happen. It's just too fast and it's too slow. You want to be able to keep the pressure switch close so the heat pump or gas heater stays fired because, by the way, if a gas heater is lit and the gas or the water volume goes down, that heater starts shaking. You're wondering what in the world is going on. And I mean, Nick, it is actually shaking because there's not enough water. And the water temperature in that gas heater is going to pop that relief valve off, which pops off at 190 degrees. And you don't want to be around that pressure relief valve when it pops at 190 degrees. So somewhere in the 45 to 55 gallons a minute, depending on the manufacturer, is your optimal heat. But if you don't have a bypass valve, you can't accomplish that. But a bypass valve is the way to go. We put bypass valves on every pool heat, spa heat that we've ever installed. We never not put one in. So for over 25 years, we've put bypass valves in long before technology caught up. There's a reason we did that is because there is an efficient way. And I'm the last person that wants to give the power company any extra money. So let's or the gas company in this case, let's make it efficient. Let's slow it down correctly. And what's going to happen is it's not going to burn up your expenses, your money. I mean, if you've got endless dollars, then run it through there and it's not going to be efficient. Everything's based on efficiency. So if there's an efficiency curve, pumps are efficient, heat pumps are efficient. So if you want to lower your heating cost and you don't have a bypass valve, call us, we'll put one in. I just finished a renovation, Nick. I just finished it last week. I put an Island Blue mini Aqua Pearl stone in. It's a beautiful finish. It's about a 1,440 square foot pool. It's 11 feet deep.
Wow.
It's 26 feet wide, and we put a pearl tile on it, and every foot we put four little blue chiclets in there to kind of break it up. And it had a stainless steel handrail that went around the water line all the way around. This pool was originally designed for someone that was handicapped. But this pool has 3 heat pumps and a gas heater. Well, the gas heater is really for the spa, and the 3 heat pumps are for the pool. It's a little undersized for the heat pumps, but guess what, Nick? No bypass valve. So think about this. If I plumbed a heat pump in parallel or in series, There's a difference between plumbing them. Even though they line up, you don't want to plumb them in series. When it goes from one heat pump to the next. So I'm heating water from this heat pump to that heat pump to that heat pump. We want to plumb them in parallel. So they all get water at the same time, and they all discharge at the same time.
Because if they're in series, by the time it gets to the third one,
it's already heated up.
You're heating the water to the same temperature it's already at.
Right. You're heating heated water.
Yeah.
Imagine that. But anyhow, if you don't valve it accordingly, what's going to happen is you're not going to have efficiency in your system. We did 10 heat pumps about 3 years ago, and every one of them we plumbed them with a bypass valve, and we plumbed them in a parallel motion. So each one gets about 45 gallons a minute through each heat pump, comes out a big manifold on the backside, and what an efficient way to heat the pool. I mean, if you don't do that, you're not protecting your investment. Now, we have asked the consumer to consider bypassing all these heat pumps and putting 3 bypasses on the heat pumps and 1 on a gas heater. Let's make them efficient. If we don't, they're just going to waste money, I guess. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, there's no reason to. And Rob always says it. You pay one, you cry once. Well, I can't remember what he says now. He says it a million times. I'm here with him for.
Where's your cue card at?
I don't know. I don't have it. You basically you pay once and you cry once.
There you go.
Or you cry a lot more later when you. I don't know what he says. Forget it.
That's
I'm
okay.
going home.
Well, that's okay. But you think about it. You can either. He's right. Either spend the money and get what you want and have it done correctly,
right?
Or cry about it later because you're going to constantly be fixing it. That's the difference between buying quality versus quantity.
Yep.
If you want quality, you really have to look at it. Remember now, pools that were $30,000 last year, we weren't making $10,000 extra on a swimming pool this year. They've cut product. They've also cut labor. That's like me telling you, Nick, you're $20 an hour now. If you want a job, you're going to work for $8.
$20 an hour? Hang on now.
Well, hang on now. You're not going to work for $8 and give me your best attitude at 20. I promise you that. You're just not going to do it because even though you have a job, you were making good money at the $20, for instance, and now I'm paying you $8.
Yeah.
What's your attitude at $8?
Oh, my attitude's going to be, well, if they're going to pay me the minimum, I'm doing the minimum.
That's what happens. Unfortunately, that's where your services cut in. Well, at TC Water Features, we don't do that. We have stand strong as a family business by not having. Now, we've done a better job being more efficiently. We have. But we haven't cut our quality. It's still there. If you want quality, there's some great pool companies out there. I'll tell you one. I'll pick on one. Artesian Pools. Believe it or not, they've been around a lot longer than me. They are a quality company that we compete very well with because you know what? They have not cut their quality of their product. They still, and I'm plugging another pool builder on the air, but you know what? They still do the way that we do it. We don't compromise what we do. We do it the same way we've done it for over 25 years, and that's building a good quality pool. Now, Nick, my business is based on referral work. It's referral. 80% of my business is referral work. If you like what I do and I deliver everything I promised you I was going to do, I promise you, you're my free referral. You were going to tell all your friends that I built your swimming pool. Why? Because I did what I was supposed to do. I made you happy in the process, and we made the process fun.
And when I'm having my big pool party and I have 50, 60 people over, they're all going to ask me as well. And if you did a bad job, I'm going to tell more people than just who ask me.
Absolutely.
It's a fact that people will, if you're happy, you might tell 1 or 2 people. If you're mad, you're going to tell every person you know.
Absolutely. Nick, for years, I have people that say, well, it's a blessing when you build someone's third swimming pool. Third. I've done 1/4. So I've done several thirds and several doubles for people. So and that's nice to know that you come back to a pool that doesn't come in a box. Swimming pools don't come in a box. They just don't. They're all handcrafted on the job. So, pools don't come in a box. So it's all handcrafted. We deal with all the elements every day. Every pool builder does, by the way. But it's what you put in it. You get out of it what you put in it, But the old Green Swamp pool, it's been up and running for a week now. The builder called me on Thursday. Loves it. He hadn't been there for a week. He's been in school taking some more tests. I guess to get a little smarter, which is a good thing. Calls me up on Friday and says, Tony, the pool is outstanding. It's wonderful. So they're in the landscape phase right now, and they're going to turn the house over to go on the market sometime in the middle of November. So what a project. So we've done some really awesome renovations in the last couple of weeks, and the Green Swamp pool is up and running, so it's no longer green, and we are not walking across it anymore.
Well, that's good. And speaking of colors, that was a great segue, Tony. Let's talk Halloween-themed pools.
Okay.
Now, it popped in my head during the second segment. People probably want to put dry ice in their pool to make it the effect of a swamp because a lot of people have, these elaborate haunted houses and, haunted backyards and all sorts of stuff. Is that bad for a pool?
No. I'll give you. I'm not trying to pick on it. We have an adult Halloween party at my house every other year. We have between 175 and 200 people over, and my wife goes bananas on decoration. We got all the good stuff. So this year we're doing for the grandkids. We've already got 48 kids going to be at my house next Saturday for a Halloween carnival. We have the Caruso Carnival for the kids. So it'll be my grandkids and all their friends that we're going to have a cool party. So it's all decorated, less all the scary stuff. But think about this, Nick. Again, with the LED technology in my pool, I have a pair of lights so I can unsync my LEDs in my pool. I mean, unsynchronize them. I also have fiber optic waterfalls, and I have LED laminar deck jets. So could you imagine? I also have a fountain at my back door. So I make my fountain red. I put my fiber on red. So my fountain looks red. I put my pool on green. I set my LEDs for green. Now I have the color driver module that I can get that perfect swamp green. Yeah. Not the green swamp pool, but I can get the perfect green in my pool. My fiber optic waterfalls have purple. So kind of like a black light purple waterfall. It's pretty cool. And then I put my laminars either on a blue or a white. And if they're on white, there's a white in my LED on my laminars that makes the laminar look like they're ice. It's really cool.
Sounds cool.
So, with LEDs and different types of LED or fiber optic lighting, I can mode set my backyard, which, by the way, I do quite often. I do it on Valentine's Day. I do it on 4th of July. I do it on Halloween for sure. Halloween's a big one. Now, dry ice. Now, I got a green pool happening. I got a purple, kind of the black light waterfalls going, and I throw in about 500 pounds of dry ice.
Wow.
Now, I don't need a fogger.
No.
I don't need a fogger, man. I got some serious, the look is incredible. I'm not going to tell you about some of the stuff that we put in the house, but we use dry ice in the house for some of the props that we have. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. So, dry ice, I don't have a problem with it. It hasn't affected my pool, and my pool's almost 10 years old, so it hasn't affected at all, and it dissipates out. It leaves no residual in the pool, and I don't have an issue with it. I really don't.
How long does 500 pounds usually last in your pool?
Fog lasts longer. About, let's see here. I don't dump all 500 pounds in at one time because it would go away pretty good. We'd probably put in 25-pound blocks. Well, I'd probably get about 3 hours at it. Party lasts about 8. We start about 7, goes on to about 3. DJ's already out the door at 1, so we're probably done throwing dry ice in about midnight, I guess. But what an effect, and if it's a little humid out, which we don't look for humid days for the Halloween party, it really stays low to the ground. Yeah. So it's not dissipating up, so it kind of gives you that lingering effect. I don't recommend dyes. Don't if you don't know what kind of dyes to use, don't put any dyes in your pool because it will stain your finish. By the way, if you have a swimming pool that has got a discolored or blemished looking finish, give us a call at 407-282-4911. We'll show you how to get that stain out of your pool because remember, stains don't come in the bag. We don't put a product in your pool that adds staining to your pool. Staining is chemistry issues related. So if you got a stain in your pool and you want it to go away, give us a call. We'll take it out for you. We just did one. I think can I remember what it was? It was 3 weeks ago. The lady used magnesium sulfate. I hope I got that right. She put it in her palm trees to get them to bloom really pretty green. Well, guess what? She missed the pots. Ooh. It ended in the pool.
Oh.
Well, my good friends at Jack's Magic, I brought my buddy Jim Gay over. We went over there, and this finish was brown. It was nasty, Nick. And she's freaking out. She thinks she's got to spend, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 replacing that pretty stone finish I put in her pool last year. Well, guess what? We got it all out but a pea. All the way down to one spot in the pool. We couldn't get out. But I'd say the pool was 85% covered, and I believe it was magnesium sulfate. And she was freaking out, man. But we took about 5 hours. We took our time. We had to if I didn't have the bypass on the heat pump, we couldn't have done this, by the way, because I don't want to run these harsh chemicals through my heat pump or gas heater. Remember, we got a bypass.
Right.
So we got it out. Then what we did is after we got it out, we went in there, and I won't tell you what we did. Give us a call. We'll figure it out. Those are our little trade secrets. But the products are available at most retail stores, by the way. Neutralize the pool, put it back online, 4 or 5 hours, as happy as could be, like it never had a stain in it.
Wow, all the way down to the...
Yeah. All the way down to a pea. That's probably about as big a piece that was left in the pool. But you know what? It was gone.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you can do if you work. I did a pool about 10 years ago. It was another good friend of mine, maybe about 15 years ago. It was on the west side of town. It had a reverse bathtub stain in it. Now, that's a good one. It had a rust stain from 3 feet up, and the bottom of the pool was white. Weird.
That is weird.
Yeah, weird.
I'm confused.
Well, confused. It was filled from a well, and they didn't pre-filter. You know, a lot of these wells have serious iron water in them.
Oh, yeah.
So my buddy Randy Dukes came over. We sat down and we drained the pool. And it's just like doing topicals. You know, you got to reverse stuff. You know what iron is. You know what chemical you got to use to get iron out. So we're topical this and that, and we're getting some movement here and there, but not all of it. What we wound up using, we use a peroxide. Believe it or not, peroxide.
Really?
And a few other little intricate little guys, and we got this pool cleaned up. And now, guess what? I got to fill the pool back up. Well, that water was seriously loaded with iron. So I went down to our local filter company, and we put in 11 pre-filters. Yeah, it's still filled up. In series. No, actually, yeah, we did these in series only because the iron was so heavy. And we wanted them. We know we had to backwash these as we went on. So basically, we start on the end and work our way back, or the beginning, go to the end, and then keep them clean. The pool still filled up a little bit like tea, but it would have filled up like iron before. So at least it was clear, and all we had to do was chemically treat it and back online 3 or 4 days later, pool's looking good. But remember, stains don't come in the bag. They get in there for a reason. And the people out there with blue stains in the pool, we've talked about this comment before, we can get those out too.
Now, the water you had to filter, whenever they go to refill the pool, just for regular refilling, kids swimming, splashing water out, water evaporates, do they need to filter that water as well, or just that little bit probably won't?
No, not in a well. It all depends. If you're topping off, I don't recommend putting any iron water in your pool at all, because if not, you got to use a sequestering agent or a stain and scale to take that out. Now, Jack's Magic makes they make a Jack's Blue, which would take that out, by the way. You wanted something that's going to collect that. We'll call it a metal magnet, for instance. It's going to take that metal out of solids, out of the water, suspended, put it on the floor, and you can vac it up. But I don't recommend it. Go through some kind of filtration system. On tap water, it's never an issue.
Okay. Well, we've got to take our final break of the afternoon. If you've got any questions for Tony, 407-290-0058 or 1-800-329-5858. We'll be back in just a few short minutes right here on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
Weekday mornings 5 till 9. Get your daily dose of news, weather, traffic, and Jim Turner, Central Florida's morning news on News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Depend on it.
If you're about to purchase a vehicle that isn't a Mercedes-Benz, we have a question. Why?
I can't afford a Mercedes.
Mercedes? Are you kidding? I'd love one, but not on my budget.
Hundreds of Central Floridians said exactly that until they visited Mercedes-Benz of South Orlando and discovered just how easy it really is.
This is Ray Forsyth with Mercedes-Benz of South Orlando. Right now, for only $6 under book value, you can get behind the wheel of a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz or a new 2011 C300 for only $349 a month. See dealer for details.
I was going to buy a Camry until I realized I could get a Mercedes for the same price. A Mercedes!
The luxury and prestige of owning a Mercedes-Benz is within your reach. Come to Mercedes-Benz of South Orlando and let us show you how. For a limited time, test drive a new or certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz and receive a limited edition gold coin set. No obligations.
Mercedes-Benz of South Orlando, across from the Mall of Millennia and online at mbso.com.
If you're adding water to your pool more than once a week, chances are you have a leak. So always look before you dive and call 407-426-9995. That's the number of the Leak Doctor, the pioneer in leak detection. With over 25 years experience locating all types of difficult leaks. Frequently adding chemicals to your pool to fight algae can be another sign of a leak. Call the Leak Doctor, 407-426-9995. If you have loose tiles or cracks in your pool, you may have a leak. Call the Leak Doctor, 407-426-9995. Leaks like that eventually show up on your water bill. The Leak Doctor's highly trained and certified technicians have the technology to pinpoint the problem. 407-426-9995 for pools and spas and all types of water leaks. Call the Leak Doctor, 407-426-9995. And remember, until the Leak Doctor arrives, always look before you dive.
Ow. Anything that will give me an edge in my cash flow, that's achievement.
Accelerating your receivables, lowering your costs. They're vital to good cash flow, and they're what CFO Cash Flow Options from PNC is designed to do for your business. In fact, if we can't lower your current credit card payment processing costs, we'll give you a $1,000 PNC Visa gift card. Plus, when you open a select new PNC business checking account with a new PNC merchant services account, we'll give you $250. These accounts work together to provide next-day funding on your card payment transactions. And they're just part of the many ways PNC's cash flow options can help your business keep cash flow flowing.
Knowing that the cash is going to be there when I need it, that's achievement.
To find out all the ways CFO can help you achieve, just stop by any PNC branch, call 1-877-CALL-PNC, or visit pnc.com/CFO.
PNC, for the achiever in us all.
Offers expire October 31st, 2010. Certain restrictions apply. See branch for details. Merchant services provided by PNC Merchant Services Company and are subject to credit approval. PNC Bank National Association, member FDIC.
We are enjoying our beautiful new kitchen thanks to S&W Kitchens. Hey everyone, Scott and Az back, and I tell you what, we couldn't be happier with our brand new kitchen from S&W. We're happy with the look, the beautifully resurfaced cabinets, the drawers, the larger pantry. It was well worth it. Not only are we happy with the end product, we were very impressed with the process from the designing phase with Krista. And looking back now, she used this computer program to illustrate what they were going to do, and that's exactly what we got. Throughout the process, they communicated with us what they were going to do, when they were going to do it. They were right on target. For 32 years, S&W Kitchens has been your premier source for all your kitchen remodeling, bathroom remodeling, countertops, and cabinet refacing needs. If you're thinking about remodeling, they make it easy. Visit SandWKitchens.com. Spell it out, S, the word and, WKitchens.com, or call 407-965-1120. That's 407-965-1120. S&W Kitchens.
If you are in the market for a gun or even considered buying one, stop what you're doing and pay attention to this very important message. Shoot Straight is celebrating their 31st anniversary, and they want to thank you, Central Florida, for supporting them all of these years with their biggest sale of the year. Visit the Apopka or Castleberry locations to find out more about the great deals you'll never find anywhere else at any other time. They're featuring highly discounted guns from manufacturers like Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, and H&K. And if you're looking for a new safe for your new gun, check out the deals from American Security. Shoot Straight is Central Florida's premier destination for all of your firearm needs. From ammo and accessories to annual gun range memberships and NRA memberships, Shoot Straight has what you need when you need it. Visit your nearest Shoot Straight location now for their anniversary sale. There are hundreds of guns on sale now. Quantities are limited, so act fast. For more information, check out shoot-straight.com.
Neil Bortz.
This country went out and elected that man on the basis of one word: change.
Weekday mornings at 9 on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
And welcome back to the Pool Fanatics. We're down to our last couple of minutes here, so we're going to get right back to business. Then we're going to get websites, phone numbers, and all the important information from Tony Caruso. But, Tony, the Florida Swimming Pool Association, are they cracking down on non-licensed contractors?
Yeah, got a nice little placard in the mail on Monday. They're yellow, about 8 inches square. It says unlicensed contractors hiring unlicensed contractors is illegal. It's just the way it is. You're going to probably see a lot of these yellow placards popping up on these, not just swimming pools, but on all construction vehicles. You got to hire licensed contractors. So
you're talking AC, plumbers, everything.
Everything that's licensed through the Construction Industry Licensing Board is going to get these placards. It's because, if we're not busy, guess who else is not busy? Code enforcement? They're not busy. The CILB is not busy. So what are they doing? They're doing stings. Don't think they don't do it, folks. Nick just brought up a great point. Google Earth. You know what? You put something in there that's not permitted, they're going to find you.
Yeah,
Google Earth works. I mean, I look at my house. I looked at it was about every 2 years before. Now it's probably doing about every 6 months. So they're updating it. And that's how they're finding, these people that are altering their homes or not permitting. You're taking revenue, and that's what runs our municipalities. Now, everybody thinks that permitting's high and all that. But you know what? It's just to assure that the job is done correctly. So, by the way, hiring unlicensed contractors is a $5,000 fine and up to a year in jail. So it's not worth hiring unlicensed, because if they're unlicensed, they're uninsured.
Plus, there's no warranty. If they get hurt on your property, guess who they're going to come after?
Well, your homeowner's insurance doesn't do negligence. You hire an unlicensed guy and he gets hurt on your property, and you're thinking it's not going to happen to me, but if you cut my finger, we talked about the other day, these guys that are mixing their own pre-blends, they're not mixing pre-blend finishes. They're taking, marble dust and a little bit of stone, a little bit of aggregate silica, and blending it and putting it in your pool. No warranty. If that guy got hurt on your job, you don't have enough insurance. I'm sorry. It just isn't going to pay for it. So is it really worth the money you're going to save? Yeah, people are still going to look at the best dollar, but you're not getting the best work. You're definitely not getting it done by the book. And the guy who's doing it, we want to educate it. If you have someone that is not licensed, please bring them to our association. Have them call us. Let's get them licensed. We want, the fairest way to be in competition, if we're all playing on the same field, it's going to be a great game. But when we got guys that are hanging out on the other side of the dugout, we're not playing fairly, it makes the guys that are doing it by the book really have to scramble. Now, don't put the guy that's doing it legitimately out of business. Put the guy that's doing it illegally out of business. Make him do it correctly. So by doing it correctly, you're going to get a good, reputable company doing your job. So only hire Florida Swimming Pool Association members. They are doing everything for you. We're going to bat for you on the new codes that were coming up, the new energy standards that are coming up. That's the people that are here that are going to protect your investment. So only hire Florida Swimming Pool Association members. We do a tremendous amount for our community and a tremendous amount for our industry.
All right, real quick, Tony, websites, phone numbers.
OrlandoLuxuryPools.com. That's OrlandoLuxuryPools.com. 407-282-4911. That's 407-282-4911.
And thanks for letting me sit in for Rob this week. And Tony, amazing things can happen in your backyard.
Give me a call, Nick. I'll show you how amazing things can happen in your backyard. It's truly amazing. You're awesome, man. You did a great job today.
Hey, thanks. We'll see you next week right here on WDBO.